regardless of who's involved with it, you know. Okay.
Plus, we're living in a weird time at the moment where films like Grindhouse are bombing,
right?
And Hostel 2 is tanking. You know, it's just really funny that, like, you know, all these films that were guaranteed at least an opening weekend are just failing,
right?
And you don't know why, and it's kind of a scary time, actually.
Right, and it's like as my friends were saying, like I remember reading someplace how, I guess Hostel 2 got, you know, like. You know, people are like copying them, you know, videotaping them.
It happens with every movie, though.
Right, yeah.
You know, so I don't think it has to do really with that. I think it really has to do with people not really being interested. See, what I heard was from a lot of people that live on the East Coast was that they thought Hostel 1 was a Quentin Tarantino film because Eli Roth at that moment wasn't such a
big name.
So they posted Tarantino's name everywhere. So more people went to see it because of that. And then when they realized it wasn't his film and they didn't like it, or they did like it or whatever, they wouldn't like it enough to go see part 2.
Right. And then, of course, when Grindhouse came out, and it's got a great cast and everything like that, but it's a little long for some people. But I would be thinking, hey, you know, you're seeing 2 movies instead of just one at like $10 a pop.
But you know what the funny thing is? Was at the end of Kill Bill 1,
right,
every single person in the audience would have stayed and finished it.
Right.
So it's, I don't think the length is it. I just think that people just, I think it, because they released it on an Easter weekend when everybody was out of town and not wanting to go with their families out of town, I think that played a huge factor.
Right, I agree with you on that.
But I think if they put it on DVD, I think it would do quite well.
Yeah, it's going to do better.
Yeah.
Of course, let's see.
Why did you choose black and white?
You know, I always thought it was going to be black and white. I just always saw it that way. You know, I think because when I envisioned the murder scenes, I just saw it more as black and white, and I thought that it needed to be different than a lot of the films. And I knew I was going to be doing these. I don't know, viewers haven't seen it, but some musical numbers and stuff, and I knew I was going to be using some 50s songs for those. So I thought, you know, it'd all blend together better.
Right.
You know, some people thought, oh, why don't you go color and black and white? I said that's too jarring to the eyes, and I'm making a sort of, you know, a horror comedy musical drama and not Natural Born Killers 2. So. Right.
It's not like, hey, I got, you know, The Devil's Rejects Part 3 on the way. But, no.
But you know, Priscilla, you've seen it. Would you say the black and white helped it, or I mean, or were you kind of put off by it, or?
I actually prefer watching death scenes in black and white, unless I'm watching like an Italian.
Right.
Movie.
What did you think of the first murder scene with the girl outside on the swing?
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that because I didn't know how she was going to be murdered. So yeah, I liked that style.
Yes.
I liked the death scenes.
Yeah, it's like, were you inspired by
visually? Definitely.
Were you inspired by any of the older classic movies from like the 30s, 40s, or early 50s?
I like all those, you know, and those have the great mood to it. And I just thought, you know, I just thought black and white would just give it a different kind of texture to it. And so a lot of the characters are dressed, you know, sort of a neutral time, so it could happen any time, really.
Right.
And using that music of old music and new music, it
could be any time, any place, anywhere.
Right.
Just like, you know, any movie that... So this is based on a true story, you're saying?
Not this one. No.
Hey!
No, I was talking about one of the later ones.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Sorry. I don't want to scare anyone off in Monterey. It's like, yeah, we have a serial killer.
Well, we shot the film in Monterey and Sacramento.
Wow.
And Grass Valley.
Oh, yes. The lovely town of Grass Valley.
Yeah, it was really interesting over there.
Yeah, no, but it's like any movie that gets filmed, usually you're hoping to find a perfect location for it and stuff like it. If it be locally or, you know, like a couple 100 miles away.
Right. Well, at the time I was up in Sacramento, but I was from this area, so I knew that there was a whole section up there I wanted to shoot, and then I figured, you know, we'll come down here for a few days and get the rest of it down here.
That's cool.
I really liked the dream sequence, and I really liked the location. I think, was it at the pier at Fisherman's Wharf?
Yeah.
I really liked that.
You know, it's really funny, though, because we went out there, I think it was like a Tuesday night around 10:30, and there was nobody on the street from like one side of the street all the way down through the wharf, down the pier, you know, the whole way, about a mile, there was not one person on the street.
I'm surprised.
And we went and filmed there, you know, kind of walking to the pier all by yourself, sort of like a Carnival of Souls type of thing. And what's weird is you show that movie to people in Monterey, and they go, wow, it's Tuesday night, you know?
Yeah.
You show that movie to producers down in Los Angeles, they're astonished. They go, how did you close the streets off? You know?
Right. Yeah, I know, because you'd think, you know, Monterey, you know, it's a beautiful city. You
Yeah.
figure, you know, the wharf would be kind of like not packed on a Tuesday night, but at least packed with some people hanging out.
I think what's really amazing, and actually Bryan Singer did this for his first movie, Public Access. They went to small towns that didn't have a lot of people and shot there, because not one person's going to ask you for permits and this and
Right.
that. Just get out of LA, get out of, you know what I mean?
Go someplace.
You know, some places like when I was up in Grass Valley, I could have shot thousands of feet of film up there. No one would have bothered us up there. And I
Right.
thought, you know, and there was little things like there's a quick moment where the girl and her boyfriend are sitting by a waterfall, and that was in Grass Valley. I mean, you just don't find locations like that just, you know, in the city.
Yeah,
so.
in a city, yeah. It's like,
You know.
I always thought that Monterey, since I've been visiting here like ever since I was a kid and staying on Cannery Row and stuff, I always thought that it had a haunting feel to it, because
Yeah.
it seems to, like, Cannery Row and that area, that touristy area,
Right.
seems to close down pretty early at
The
night.
whole town does, and it's
And then it's haunting.
and then
because-
they have these ghost tours around here, you know, where you can go and see all the sights apparently, and
That's haunted.
yes, apparently I've never taken it, but this town does sort of have that kind of lonely, something wicked this way comes kind of town feeling to it.
Yikes.
You know what I mean? So,
I might have to hide after
feel it?
sundown.
Yeah, and it seemed like the location on, you know, the wharf really did work, because the places were familiar, but it didn't ruin the setting. It didn't ruin the feel of the scene. Like, oh, well, that's
And there was a
Fisherman's
weird
Wharf, ha ha ha.
Yeah.
You know, it didn't ruin it. It kind of was, you know,
There's a
fit
weird
with
moment
the
because
mood.
as she's going towards the pier, she kind of goes around this building, and you know, I was sitting there back there going, you know, wow, you know, someone could really make a Jack the Ripper kind of movie.
Yeah,
here, because
yeah.
you just felt like you were in the back boonies of
Yeah.
London, yeah.
like you're
during the
walking where you
1800s.
shouldn't be walking.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
it's like, you know, we staged this murder dream sequence out there, you know, where he's dragging off this dead body, and yet the camera backs up and you just see there is nobody around. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it just gives you this creepy feeling.
Atmosphere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course, you know, you're lucky that, you know, no one like came by, like especially the police. They'd be going like, yeah, what the going on?
But you know what? A lot of the police around here are pretty low key. As long as you're not causing trouble, you know, you can pretty much
Get away with murder almost.
Pretty much.
Sorry, I'm not recommending it, folks.
No.
No,
Sarcastic, yes.
no, I'm not anyway. No, but yeah, let's see. So, what were some of your favorite films growing up, horror-wise?
Wow. Well, let's see. Horror-wise, I think the first horror film I saw when I was like 5 or 4, whatever, was like Halloween. And it was just... actually, you know what? Before that, there was a movie I saw. It was... I don't know if you remember this one, but there was a weird compilation film made around '82 called Terror in the Isles.
Yes.
Yeah.
With Donald Pleasance and Nancy Allen. And it was just sort of like this compilation of 100 different movies, and I remember just sitting there going, "What's that one? What's that one?" You know what I mean? And
I wanna see that
That was
one.
the first time I saw that image from Scanners. You know,
Oh,
with the
yeah.
exploding head. And I remember just going, "Oh my, what is this movie?" You
I
know?
want to see it.
Well, yeah. There were just weird things, and there would sometimes be just a flash.